A young, red-haired woman sits on a horse. She leans toward the knight standing beside her and tries to kiss him. At first glance, it seems like a beautiful scene, yet it hides a terrifying story. Let's try to understand what is happening here and what hidden meaning lies beneath. In the art world, there are paintings that become legends. One of them is The Beautiful Lady Without Mercy, or La Belle Dame sans Merci, by Sir Frank Bernard Dicksee. This is not just a beautiful canvas, it is a whole novella. To understand the painting, we must first get acquainted with its creator. Frank Dicksee belongs to the generation of artists strongly influenced by the Pre-Raphaelites. The Pre-Raphaelites were the members of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, an artistic movement founded in 1848 in England by the young painters Dante Gabriel Rossetti, William Holman Hunt, and John Everett Millais. They sought to return to the purity, spirituality, and detailed precision of art before Raphael, hence the name. Their inspiration came from early Italian masters, medieval subjects, nature, and literature. Frank Dicksee came from an artistic family. His father, Thomas Dicksee, was a painter, and his sister Margaret also became an artist. Dicksee was educated at the London School of Art at the Royal Academy, where he early on showed himself to be a talented draftsman and colorist. His work is closely connected with the aesthetics of Romanticism and Idealism, drawing on the traditions of the Pre-Raphaelites, although he was not formally a member of the Brotherhood. The artist created paintings on historical, literary, and mythological subjects, distinguished by their dramatic intensity, sensual color, and striking composition. He began studying at the School of the Royal Academy of Arts at the incredibly young age of 13. His talent was noticed by John Everett Millais, one of the founders of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, who became his mentor. Success came quickly. Dicksee became a fashionable portraitist. He painted aristocrats and members of the royal family, and in 1925 he was appointed the King's Painter in Ordinary, and even created the official portrait of Queen Mary of Teck. Dicksee loved to depict female figures inspired by mythology and literature. His work, The Beautiful Lady Without Mercy, is no exception. The painting was completed in 1901 at the crossroads of eras. The reign of Queen Victoria was coming to an end, and Dicksee produced a work that became a swan song of Victorian Romanticism. The subject of the painting is not the artist's invention, but a visual interpretation of John Keats's ballad, The Beautiful Lady Without Mercy, written in 1819. Keats's poem itself drew on several sources, including the German legend of Tannhäuser, Spenser's The Fairy Queen, and Robert Burton's Anatomy of Melancholy, which contains a description of a knight suffering from melancholy. The poem tells of a lone, nameless knight who meets in the forest a beautiful girl with wild eyes. She enchants him and sings him magical songs. He lifts her onto his horse, and she carries him away to an elfin grotto. In the grotto, the girl weeps bitterly, and the knight kisses her wild eyes. He falls asleep and has a nightmare. The ghosts of the lady's former lovers appear and warn him that she is without mercy. Upon waking, he finds himself alone on the cold hillside, doomed to eternal wandering. The ballad is full of strangeness and riddles. The knight described by Keats is associated with death. The pallor of his face, compared to the lily, a symbol of death in Western culture, and his fading suggests that he may already be dead, telling his story as a ghost. He is clearly condemned to wander, though the cause is unclear. Remembering that knights were often bound by vows of chastity, one might assume the knight in Keats's poem is doubly disgraced, having succumbed to the charms of a supernatural being, and must now face punishment. A literal interpretation suggests that the beautiful lady captured him and perhaps killed him. She likely lured in more than one knight, hence her epithet, without mercy. Dicksee chose the key, climactic moment of the ballad, the moment of enchantment that precedes the tragedy. The viewer's gaze moves from the powerful horse in the lower left corner upward along the figure of the knight to the face of the beautiful lady. It feels as though the night is literally breaking into the fairy's space, disturbing her stillness. Dicksee painted the armor with archaeological precision, likely drawing inspiration from 15th century plate armor. Yet the armor does not look menacing. Its polished surface softly reflects the light, emphasizing the nobility of the warrior. The knight reaches toward the lady tenderly. He wears no helmet. He is defenseless against her enchantment. His face shows no fear, but reverent wonder, adoration, and complete submission. He is already bewitched. The heroine herself is the quintessential pre-Raphaelite femme fatale. Luxurious long red hair, pale skin, ideal features. She is beautiful, but her beauty is cold and detached. There is no tenderness in her gaze. Instead, we see calmness, curiosity, and a hint of aloofness, even arrogance. She does not give her heart. She accepts worship as her due. She is dressed in a light, almost weightless gown that contrasts with the knight's heavy armor. The landscape is not merely a backdrop. Nature here becomes an active participant, the elfin world into which a mortal has strayed. The painting was first exhibited at the Royal Academy of Arts in 1902 and was a tremendous success. Victorian audiences, raised on romantic literature and chivalric ideals, were captivated. Critics praised Dicksee for his impeccable draftsmanship, subtle psychology, and ability to bring a literary plot to life. Today, the painting is considered one of the pinnacles of late pre-Raphaelitism. It is housed at the Bristol Museum and Art Gallery, where it continues to stir the imagination of viewers. But if we look closer, we sense that this is not merely a romantic scene, but a moment in which beauty turns into danger. What exactly is the artist trying to say by depicting the instant before the tragedy, when the knight is already enchanted but has not yet understood the price of this magic? In the tense contrast between the fragile girl and the heavy armor lies a premonition of an inevitable end, as if the painting itself warns of the power of deception and the ease with which one falls prey to illusion. Thank you for staying with me. If you enjoy exploring the hidden meanings of great paintings, like, subscribe, and click the bell. Many more fascinating art stories lie ahead.